Doodhi kofta curry is a very yummy preparation. It takes a little long time, but if you have everything ready, it is not very difficult. You can always pre-prep the koftas and make some gravy whenever you want to enjoy a yummy kofta curry for even a weeknight. Let me show you how to make this dish in my style. This is the way I grew up eating and it is extremely delicious. The koftas are very soft and the gravy is very flavorful. I have a nice big doodhi which I have harvested in my garden. I'm going to peel it and grate it. I've strained out all the doodhi and this is about, I would say, 3 cups of doodhi which is squeezed out. This is the juice. I'm going to use this to make the dough for the paratha. You can even store this and use it for making the gravy. When I prepare the kofta gravy, I'll use a little bit of this water there also. I used the doodhi water and made the batter, the dough for the paratha. I've not used any salt because the water would have had a lot of salt in it. Let's add some spices. So this is about 3 cups of squeezed out doodhi. I'm going to add about 3 teaspoons of coriander seed powder, 2 teaspoons of garam masala, about 2 teaspoons of chili powder. Besides this, I will add about 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds, which is soft. It gives a really nice flavor. I'm going to first mix all this. Since we squeezed out the doodhi, there is barely any salt in it. So I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt here. I'm going to add 1 cup of besan, which is chickpea flour or gram flour, however you call it. Mix this well. Mix the besan in it, and since I was feeling that it was a little dry, I used the same doodhi water and made this into a nice pakoda mix. So when you take out this mix and you roll it up, it should nicely hold a shape. Now this, I'm going to portion it out and deep fry it. There are 2 options. You can either deep fry or you can use the appam platter and fry it in that, shallow fry. So you'll get nice round ball of koftas and it will also not consume so much oil. But either or, this is a dish which will consume some amount of oil. The koftas are ready. I'm going to go ahead and deep fry them and take it out. You can, whenever you have time and you have the moment to prepare this, you can always make a bigger batch, fry them and freeze them. That way making kofta, doodhi kofta is always going to be very easy because the maximum amount of time that it will take is to make this kofta. These koftas are very tasty. So if you leave them out too long, you'll have nothing left for your kofta curry. So make sure you fry them just before you're making the gravy and just put it in there. They're a great party snack as well. While I fry the kofta, I'm going to make the gravy in the pressure cooker. That will take barely any time. I'm going to peel 1 large onion, put it in this and crush it. This is almost about 2 large tomatoes. These are just tomatoes growing in my house. I'm going to crush this separately and I have some ginger garlic paste. I have some oil heating up in my pressure cooker. In my pressure cooker, I have about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm adding about 1 teaspoon of cumin seed, and as slowly you can see that it's getting roasted, I will add the onion paste. I don't want to wait too long because otherwise it will start splattering all over the place. So right when it's getting heated up, just spread it across. And just like how I make my base gravy, just close the lid and take about 3 pressure whistles. This is 2 teaspoons of coriander seed powder, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of Aamchur, half teaspoon each of roasted cumin seeds and turmeric. That's the cooker whistle happening. I'm going to mix all of this in a cup and add about 4 tablespoons of yogurt to it. Taken about 3 pressure whistles. I'm going to force release the whistle now. So again, stick a fork or a knife away from you and lift the pressure whistle. Let's see how the onions look. There you go. And that looks absolutely fine. There's no burning and the onions are well cooked. At this stage, I'm going to turn on the gas again and add about 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. And along with this, just mix it a little bit and add the tomato puree that we made. So the ratio for onions and tomatoes is 1:2. So every 1 onion you'll take 2 tomatoes. So mix this well. I've still not added any salt here. So mix this. And before it comes to a boil, I'm going to close it. Again, take about 4 whistles. That was the 4th whistle. I'm going to turn off the gas and force release the pressure. I'm going to turn on the gas again. This is almost cooked. At this stage, I will add the yogurt and spice mixture. And once you add the yogurt, make sure you continuously stir, otherwise the yogurt will separate. So just mix it well. I'm yet to add any salt in this gravy. Once I start seeing that the oil is separating, then I will start adding the salt. The pakoda, the kofta itself is a dish. You can use it as a starter, you can use it as a stuffing for your pita. So we add the spices and salt to that. The gravy is a separate item, so we will add the spices and salt separate. So it is not an everyday dish, but when you have a party or it's a weekend and you have a lot of time, this is one dish that will really impress people. It's something that's made once in a while. And also when you have a lot of fresh doodhi, I make no exception to try and make it even during the weekday. One of the days I'll just make some kofta, a big batch, and freeze it. And then whenever I don't have time to make kofta, I'll just make the curry, add some kofta from the freezer, and my dish is ready. At this stage, again I'll close the pressure cooker and take another 2 pressure whistles. The gravy is almost ready now. I'm going to season it. I'm going to add about 1.5 teaspoons of salt right now for the gravy. If you notice, there is a little bit of oil separating on all the sides. There's not much oil that I've added here because I was cooking in the pressure cooker and it doesn't require so much. If I had my base gravy, this process would have been a lot more easy. I would have only added base gravy to the pressure cooker, and once it was warming up, I would have added the extra tomatoes along with the yogurt mixture that I made and taken about a couple of whistles in the pressure cooker, and this gravy would have been ready much faster. So since I'm out of my base gravy, I'm sitting and making this, which is a little longer but still not as bad. So mix this really well. I've added a little bit of water here and I'm going to bring it to a rolling boil, and I want to make sure I see all the oil separating on the top before I add the kofta to it. The best time to add the kofta would be probably about 10-15 minutes before you serve. So right when you start making chapatis, add the kofta. It will absorb the gravy. This gravy has to be a little bit more watery. So here goes the doodhi water that we strained. So that's why I'm not adding too much water, because I will dilute it with this water. So allow this to come to a boil. Either you can do it open like this, or again you can put the pressure cooker and take about 2 pressure whistles. When you start seeing a little bit of foam forming here and there, that is when you know that the gravy is well cooked. You can see the texture of the gravy. It's still a little thin, but it's still able to coat the spoon. That's the stage we want to add the koftas to it and allow this to come to a nice rolling boil, and then this curry will be ready. I'm going to just top it with a pinch of garam masala, and that's good to go. This kofta curry is ready. I'm just putting 1 pinch of garam masala just towards the end. This is the pure garam masala. It's very strong. Be very sparingly add this to your dishes. The Doodhi kofta curry is ready. Generously add a lot of fresh coriander for garnish and serve it with hot paratha or piping hot fulka with ghee on it, and enjoy it while this Doodhi is growing in your garden. Give this recipe a try and let me know how this turned out for you.